What's happening, video land? How y'all doing on this beautifully sunny Thursday in the fall? How are you all today? I am again in deep thought. I think I'm always in deep thought, you all. My brain just doesn't stop. Do any of you all have that time where you want to turn your brain off, but you just can't? You like, Lord, if I could turn my brain off. You can't sleep because you're always thinking about stuff, and that's kind of where my mind is. I'm back to that waking up at 2:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. and praise God this time it ain't because I'm stressed. Lord have mercy. It ain't stress that's waking me up. It's just really thinking about how I can better help my people, my stylists, my black stylists and barbers and beauty professionals. How I can help us get it. Let me tell you something. I had a really bad car accident in 2009, and car was totaled. I got T-boned, and I was in a small SUV, and then the guy was actually in a little bitty car, like little bitty car. So I was in one of those streets, guys, where when you sit out there, if you don't sit out there, you'll never be able to make a left turn. You know the kind of street is just busy. If you sit at the intersection and don't just go ahead and sit out there, so basically almost making the car stop so you can turn, you'll never turn. So that was me. I'm sitting out there and I'm looking at this car, y'all, come for me. I mean, he's straight up coming like I'm invisible, and I'm like, now I know this dude sees me, right? But I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just tripping. So before I could actually turn, guys, he hit me and literally tarpooned me. I mean, literally, if you know what it means to tarpoon somebody, that's what he did. So by him tarpooning me, I literally ended up in a ditch with my butt down, nose up, but the car was like folded. I mean, when I say folded, the car was straight up folded. So I couldn't get out the car, guys. So this was like 2008 or 9. So I panicked because I am really claustrophobic, and I couldn't get out the car, and I'm paying for it now. This is where I'm going with this. Because of the way he hit me, my head did like that really hard, like snapped my neck. And my hip, I end up messing up my hip because I panicked, and I'm using my hip to try to push myself or push the door open because the door was bent in so it wouldn't open. And I'm nose up, butt down in the ditch. So I just went into like survival mode, guys. So as I used my hip to push this door open, I didn't realize the damage I did to my hip. I just didn't realize it, right? But my neck was so bad, guys, that after that whole accident was over and I got the car, and he was really hurt and I was too, but I didn't go right to the doctor because you know me, this is one of them cycles, right, where I can't afford to not go to work. Now I get out the car, y'all, and I get out straight limping, but my adrenaline is going so high that I don't even realize I'm as hurt as I'm hurt. So you all, anybody on here had a car accident, you know what I'm saying. You think you all right that day, you're like, oh, I'm good, I don't need to go to no doctor, I'm straight. And the next morning you can't move, you feel like you literally been ran over by a car. That was me, guys. But guess what, guys, at that time I was just getting things back on track, or on anybody's track, and I couldn't miss work, guys. I couldn't miss work. I mean, I am literally barely able to walk, but my neck was so bad, guys, I literally could not turn right or left. So I end up going to the doctor. The doctor said, look, you're gonna have to go to rehab. So mind y'all, I went to rehab for almost 8 months for my neck. Literally, I could not turn right or left at all without the most excruciating pain you could ever imagine. I also could not lay down flat. If I laid down flat, this actually had to be before this may have been like 2007. Actually, if I laid down flat, guys, my neck would be on fire to the point where I'd be almost in tears. So I had to sleep in an upright position for 6 months. But now dig this. When I got divorced from my first husband, I had to surrender in order to get out of that situation. All the retirement that I had stored up, so that's every IRA, that's every IRA, that's everything. Even back then, the disability that I had that paid me $5 grand a month, I I couldn't afford the payments, so I had to give up everything. So here I am now. I'm in real pain. Ain't even thought about the hip though, because the neck was worse than the hip. I remember I had to ride in the right lane so that I didn't have to try to like turn right and turn in front of anybody. I did this for months, slept sitting up. Still going to rehab. They did what they needed to do for my neck. Any of you ever been to rehab, you feel like they're killing you in the beginning, but it does get better. So my neck got better. So, you know, after about 6 months, I was able to turn right or left. Praise God, I was able to actually lay down, but dig this. I'm still working, doing 17 hours a day at least, and still basically standing up, trying to do this, you know, refuse. What is up with these cars getting over on me today, guys? Refuse to actually wear any type of neck brace because it was too uncomfortable. So here I am, and I gotta work. I didn't have a choice because I had given up everything that had protected me to the point where my disability, things like that I really needed, I had to surrender it. Some of you all have never ever had it. So here I am in this position again, and however old I was at that time, and I'm just like, this cannot be. This cannot be the way I live this thing out, where I gotta, every time something happens, or I gotta almost be afraid that if something happens, that it's gonna put me in a position where I'm gonna basically almost be homeless. So I gotta do better, guys. I gotta do something different. This was my mindset. Now, mind you, let's fast track to today, and I did. I actively, and I'm going to get into some of the things that I did, but I actively worked on making those things better. So now let's fast track to today. I will be 50 years old Sunday, and now the hip that I never paid attention to, that I never ever got rehab for, that my neck was worse, I focused on the neck, left the hip alone. This hip now has gotten so bad, and it's because of that accident, that I really can't sleep on it. I really can't, like, I used to love car rides where, I love being in the car. I started these videos in the car. The car is my war room. That's my think tank. That's the place where I grow and think and cry if I need to or whatever it is. But I cannot now sit in a car for any extended period of time. I can't do it, because I didn't really focus on the hip. So now, this is where it gets real for me, guys. If I had not had the unction or had the desire to switch gears around that time, 2007, 09, I'm talking about money in total shambles. I'm making it. I'm working like a dog. I have zero clue where it is, so I can't take off work. I can't afford an accident, so no matter what happened to me, I had to work. I'm gonna take you back a little bit. In January of 1999, I had a hysterectomy at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, and I had it because I had 5 or 6 surgeries before that made me have to make that decision, which I was fine with. I wanted them to do it earlier. So I had cancer, cervical cancer. I had what's those things, fibroids, which meant I had to have multiple myomectomies. I had endometriosis, which is scar tissue that evolves from constant surgeries. I had to go through all these things, guys, and I remember in that cycle, this was actually before that, because I had these cycles of doing well with money, then squandering it, then doing well again, then squandering it. And this was in the cycle where I was doing well, but then I had started squandering it. So here I am, I had to have all these surgeries. And I remember the times, some of the times when I had the surgeries, I was supposed to stay off 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 10 weeks. And I remember saying to the doctor, I can't stay off 10 weeks. 10 weeks was the difference in being homeless in certain situations. So I couldn't stay off. I had to go to work anyway. I remember having fibroids so bad. For any of the women out there that have ever experienced this, I have fibroids so bad that I would be standing at my station and I would hemorrhage, where literally I would be standing in a pool of blood. But guess what? I still couldn't go home. I still had to keep working, clean it up, do whatever you got to do to try to keep it controlled and keep moving. I still had to continue to work no matter what. Now, this wasn't in every cycle, because some of the cycles I had the disability, I had the things, I had saved up a couple dollars so I could maybe stomach a couple weeks being off. But I'm saying all this to say that I have learned at this stage what it means to break it, fix it, break it, fix it, break it, fix it again. And to put myself in positions financially where if the next thing happened, or the thing we call life, I would not have to worry. I would not have to cry. I would not have to continually do the type of work we do and not be able to use my hands or stand up or whatever it is. I have been in that position. The last time I got in that position and I made the decision, no more, was when I said, that's when pride goes out the window. That's when I don't need that bag. I don't need those shoes. I don't need nothing. That's when I went from wanting having every luxury car to give me a regular car that got regular oil change prices and regular. That's when I got into a cycle where I had to say, as much as I didn't think it then, money does matter. I had to grasp that concept. I had to say, you know what? I can't keep living like this. And let me tell you what I did. I've told this story many times. I ended up going to a bad check writers class that was sanctioned by the courts, that they like, you gonna go and you gonna pay this almost $4,000 fine. And I said, and that class was the best thing that ever happened to me, because that class showed me a side of money. How to do cash flow projections, how to do break-even analysis. I never knew that there was a science to, if you decide to open a shop and if you put $50,000 of your money in the shop, I never knew there was a way to figure out and look at the numbers and come up with when you're going to actually get your money back. I didn't know how to do that. I learned that then, and then obviously I've gotten way better at that now. But I started then looking at some of my fellow stylists, because I learned all that in that class, and I said, okay, I actually like this stuff. And I started loving understanding what was happening after I bought all these products. I love knowing that after I bought this, my profit margin after buying the products, and then after paying rent and paying lights and paying gas and all this other stuff, which is what we call in the financial world fixed and variable expenses, or you even may hear it called the cost of goods and services when it comes to the towels you got to buy, the neck strips, this, to that, the shampoo, the conditioner, stuff you cannot do your job without. I got to the point that I love the fact that, okay, if this client gave me $150, I actually was able to know to the penny how much product I used on her hair, because I used shampoo, conditioner, spritz, some edge control, some foam, some this, some that. I literally got to the point that I had learned enough to be able to tell you how much product was used out of that $150, and then how much, what percentage out of those are my COGS, or those are what you call my variable expenses. Those are things I have to do my job, but they aren't fixed. The amounts change here and there. And then my fixed expenses, which were my rent. I got an assistant that I paid a weekly salary to, and whatever, lights, gas, or whatever else you got to pay for, that pretty much it's every month, stays the same. I got to the point, guys, that I so enjoyed knowing exactly how much came out of that $150, because that gave me the knowledge to know, do I need to increase my prices? And my products costing me too much? Because this is what would happen, guys, when I first learned how to do this, and I teach this in my Money Matters membership group. When I first learned how, I actually was realizing that out of 150, y'all, I was spending about $50 on all this stuff. That means I'm only profiting, no, actually it was about $65 in the very beginning. I was spending $65 on all this stuff. Now, mind you, if I'm spending $65, then really my $150 has been knocked down to what, about $85? So really, after the smoke cleared, I only made $85 from that. That's really all I profited. Now, mind you, that's at work. I ain't paid no bills at home. I ain't paid a bill. Not a light bill, a gas bill, a rent, mortgage, nothing. I ain't paid nothing at home. So realistically, that $85 is, and wait, I ain't paid no taxes either, right? So that $85 is what they call my gross expenses before taxes. And I haven't even paid myself. I haven't taken a dime home. I haven't done anything. So realistically, I really still don't even have $85. Because now I got to do the math and I got to figure out, okay, what I got to pay at home and what I got to do through the week. And you get the drill. What I started realizing very quickly is that the money that I thought I was making, because I'm living big willy-nilly like some of y'all think y'all doing. The money I thought I was making is not the money I was actually seeing. And it is the very reason that so many of us, now that I do financial coaching, we making $200,000-300,000. It's not hard for a stylist to make that kind of money. It's not hard at all. We're making that kind of money, but we still robbing Peter to pay Paul. We still broke. We still got to use every grace period that the mortgage company, that the credit card company, that the whoever gives us to pay these bills, because we just do hair. We just turn curls, or we just turn the clippers on, or whatever it is that we do. And we never, ever think the money matters. So I learned how to do that, guys, and I could teach you all how to do it. It's a lot easier than you think, but you got to do it. Let me tell you something else that I fully learned how to do. I learned how to fully understand, and this is bare adding and subtracting, what my profit and loss statement really look like. It's really simple. It's every piece of income I get from wherever it come from that's considered income, and then I have to deduct every liability. Let me tell you what I learned. We forget the little stuff. We forget every time you go to Starbucks every morning, which I used to do. Or every time you got to upgrade your phone app, or you done went now, you done bought these games on your phone and it's constantly hitting your phone every other day, talking about $1.99, $2.99, $3.99. We forget about the gym membership that automatically comes out that we ain't seen the gym in a whole year or two. We forget about all that other stuff that takes from that profit and loss and becomes the loss. We forget about all these little miscellaneous fees that we pay all over the place. And this is the best one yet, guys. Now that we have all this digital payment ways of getting paid, we got Cash App, we got Zelle, we got Apple Wallet, we got, Apple Pay, Google Wallet, we got Quick Pay, we got all these ways now that we actually get paid. So let me tell you what I'm seeing. We are literally not accurately knowing our income or our expenses or our what they call liabilities. We ain't knowing either. So most of the people that I talk to, and I was there even before Cash App and Zelle and all of that, we don't even know what we really make. We don't even know what we really actually are bringing in. So if you don't know what you're bringing in, how do you go buy a car? How do you go buy a car? You don't even really know what the car note should be. You don't even really know what the gas needs to be. You have no idea what the expenses actually need to look like, because we don't even know accurately where our income is. We don't really know accurately where our liabilities, all of them lie, because they all take from the pot. So now what happens is we sit and we just like, God, I can't figure this out. I have no idea where all my money is going. That is what I hear all the time, because I was there. I knew I was making it. I knew I had all these customers. I knew it was somewhere, but I have no clue where it is. And for those of you all that ain't ashamed to say that that's you, just give me a little thumbs up, because see, I do these private classes where you all come in my class, and you got to be 100% transparent if you want to get it right. And in these classes, this is 99% of the time the reason that if we had to retire, and I don't even call it retirement, I call it the option phase. If you could not work anymore. When I say we would be depressed and in debt up to our ears, we would not know what to do because we don't even know where we are. We don't have things in place, different types of things that will protect us if we break our finger, if we break our wrist. We don't have to be hospitalized, guys. We literally could just have a oops, you mess around, go skiing. Okay, you done broke something. Now you got to make a decision. Do I still go to that job and stand up with this cast up to my hip and work, or what are my options? We are not providing any options for our lives because we don't think the money matters. We as Tom Ferry says all the time, he says we'll figure that out later, and later will be there sooner than you know. So now my hip is I already know it's on borrowed time before I will not be able to stand up. And I don't work that many hours in the salon anyway, but I will not be able to stand up anymore at all. So here I am now. Had I not learned some of these things, how to do a profit and loss statement, how to do cash flow projections so I could use my own money and not have to get a loan all the time. But then even if you want to get a loan, if you don't learn how to leverage loans, if I had not learned how to create and use and benefit from business credit as opposed to my personal credit, if I had not learned at some point in my life how to do these things, me now dealing with this hip issue would not even be an option. I would literally have to say, well, I'm just going to have to stand up on it, sit down, lean on the wall, do whatever it is that I need to do because I have not put anything else in place for my life to be able to go in another direction and for me not to have to cry and worry about money all the time. And the reason this is so important for me to be on this campaign now is because we are making too much money, y'all, for us to literally end this life. And I ain't gonna even say end it. Just get older and have nothing to show for it. We don't own nothing. We can't buy nothing. Our personal credit is shot. We don't have business credit. You talk about having an emergency fund. We don't even have enough money for a couple weeks, let alone a couple months. And it is not because we are not making the money. It's because we are not taking the fact that money does matter seriously. We're not. And I'm trying to catch some of you all before you're older, where you can't stand up 7 hours if you wanted to, or where you can't run all over doing hair shows and all this stuff if you wanted to, where your body will not allow you to do things with that type of aggression. It just won't do it. So I am pleading with you all. I coach. Most of you all know that I do. I'm a beauty business strategist. I'm a business development and strategist. That's what I do for the beauty industry, and I do it in all capacities. If you all are interested in extended coaching well beyond just the money part, you can go on my website, knowledgebynikki.com. That's with 1K, and we'll interview and we'll hash it out and see where and if and how I could help you. And those programs aren't cheap, guys. When you get into those programs where I'm coaching you like one-on-one, and I'm taking all of your business things that you have or that you want to have or what we need to change, that's going to cost you. So what I did, guys, because I'm finding that no matter who I take on, whether they're 20 years in the game, 10 years in the game, 5 years in the game, or want to open a shop, every single person I've ever dealt with in this industry, they all have total ignorance, just like I did, to money. You know, you ain't born knowing what to do with money. You have to learn that is an acquired skill set. But I want us to get to the point where we don't have to now be forced to learn it when stuff is so bad that we really can't fix it. It's not fixable. You can let things go to the point where they aren't able to be fixed. So I launched a group that's way cheaper than all of that other stuff, and the group is literally called Money Does Matter. That is what the group is called, guys. It is called Money Does Matter. And the purpose of this group is to give you what we call video tutorials. It's me. I'm doing them. They could be an hour, 2 hours, however long I think it takes. And I'm giving you information in every possible aspect that you can make, spend, save, get out of debt, understanding how to read these financial statements, understand how your bank accounts need to be set up, understand how to get business credit, how to use business credit, where else you can get money from. There are many sources that you can get money from. And a lot of you all now have been in the game a minute. You may be at the point where you like, look, I don't want to rent my spot no more. I want to buy. I want to franchise. I want to be able to get a commercial loan. I want to be able to do this. Let me tell you something. When you get to those points, you are only who it says you are on paper. Just so you know. I don't care how much money you got in a shoebox under your mattress. For those of y'all that's still old school and want to pay cash for everything, you are only who it says you are on paper. And you gonna have to have a solid paper trail that's heavy enough to say that you actually are worthy of whatever it is you asking somebody to give you, finance for you. You want to get yourself in a position where you want to get a SBA loan, or you want to get something, a bigger commercial loan. Commercial loans ain't going 30 years, guys. We talking 7 years, 15 years. You got to put 20-25% down. Your paper trail got to be right, all the way from how your bank statements look. You got to understand the deposits in your bank statements have to look a certain way, and that all they care about is how it start and how it end. And there is a certain science to making sure your bank statements look a certain way so that you can get whatever it is that you want. I want you to be to the point where you sick of people telling you no, where you have more options. I don't even care if you want to go that direction, but I will tell you, you need to be in a position where, as you want to grow, as you want to provide things for yourself and your kids, you're going to have to understand what your money is doing. It is absolutely unequivocally necessary, and I'm trying to help you. This group, guys, I ain't even said the price yet, is $25 a week. Did y'all hear what I said? $25 a week. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like fast food. So I can tell you it ain't nothing for me to drop $25 in one meal. It is $25 a week for this Money Does Matter video Facebook membership. Literally, I give you a video every month. I come back behind it, almost like Power, my favorite show. I come back behind it a week later, and I give you a broken down version of the video that you learned so you can better understand it. When you have zero understanding of finances, sometimes the stuff could go over your head a little bit. So I break it down even more. I also am constantly sending you videos of things that I have in my library that I run across that are other people teaching you about different principles of money. And guys, all I can tell you is, if you want to be in a position where if you had to quit work today, and I'm praying that that quitting comes at your choice and not because something forced you to, injury, accident, life stuff, it happens, guys. It happens. And I don't see even 90, not even 10% of us that are prepared if that thing, when that thing happens. Yeah, we're not prepared. We just burn up. I went in a salon. I had to do a site visit for one of my coaching groups. This is the straight up one-on-ones where I do everything from hire your workers to fire your workers to sit down and talk to your workers to I literally is way past Tabitha, y'all. I do a whole lot of extra stuff. I deal with make sure your legal structure is correct, how you dealing with your taxes, if you're paying them at all. I deal with all that kind of stuff. So I had to go into a salon and I had to do a site visit, guys. And this is the thing that really broke my heart. And it distracted me actually from focusing on what I was there for. A girl had on a full body cast. When I say full body cast, all the way from her ankles, and at the top, the plaster part of the cast looked like it went right above her stomach. But the actual breastplate part of the cast was made out of that hard plastic, almost like football players, stuff that like shoulder pads, and it was made out of that real hard plastic. So because of this, she couldn't lean forward. Total inability to really hardly move at all. So I'm watching this girl, guys, and she's in there working. And what they've done is they've actually pulled her chair all the way to the wall. So her chair is all the way to the wall. She's actually sitting on like a drafting chair. She's leaning against the wall because that's how she got to do it. She got one leg. She was in a bad car accident. She got one leg kind of put up on a stool, and they pulled the hydraulic chair all the way back for her. So her clients have to sit in the chair real awkward. They got to kind of lean their heads back into her because she can't lean forward for her to basically service them. So I'm watching this, guys, and all I'm saying to myself is that girl absolutely does not want to be here. But guess what? She didn't have a choice, because, and this girl had been doing hair, because I asked, about 15 years, this girl didn't have a choice. So I'm watching this girl work, and you could tell she was probably in pain. I'm watching her pop pain pills because I was there for a minute, and I'm just saying to myself, we got to do better. We got to do better. There are many things that she could have had in place, that she could have had situated where she would not have had to come to work at all, but obviously she didn't know that. Or, worse than that, even if she knew it, she has not added that into the equation of her money and what's going out, so that if something happens, she'll be in a better situation. So I'm watching this girl, and I'm grieved by it. I'm literally grieved by what I'm seeing, because I'm like, this is crazy. And it was an eye-opener even for me. Like, I've got to work harder. I got to help you all more to be able to get the concept that life gonna happen, and you got to start preparing before it happens. And you got to start thinking. Our clients change, guys. They change. They have to leave. They stop coming. They get older. They retire. Don't need their hair done as much. They move. Things happen, guys. And I'm telling you, all I see is us tricking off money. Stylists, hairstylists, barbers, estheticians, nail techs, and the black ones I'm really talking about. We got to be probably the sharpest group of people that could ever be in any profession on this earth. We look good, we smell good, we together, we spending all this money on our outer appearance. And don't get me wrong, y'all, I am perfectly fine. We are in a beauty industry, so I am perfectly fine with us making the strides to make sure that we look like what we do. But I'm talking about when you got 10 bags and you go buy another one with money you ain't got. I'm talking about when your apartment is I didn't say house. When your apartment is $1,800, $2,500 or $1,825, and you go buy some shoes that are the equivalent of your rent. I don't understand that, guys. And at a point, you gonna have to not only want to see money on your back, but you gonna have to want to see money in the bank. That is just real talk. You gonna have to get to the point where you want to see money in the bank as much as you want to see money on your back. And this is the rule of thumb. If you ever take any of my private sessions where I sit 10 to 20 people down, you got to bring stuff in, your bank statements, your POS statements. I don't care who you process with, Square, Cash, I don't care. Bring me the statement in if it's something outside of your bank, whatever. And you got to bring in liability stuff, all kind of stuff. If you ever sit down with me, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan the room, and I'm going to look at everything everybody got on. And I'm going to say, okay, I ain't got no problem with looking good. If you could afford it, do you. But I'm going to ask you, the purse you got, the shoes you got, the jewelry you wearing, all this stuff that make us look good, I'm going to ask you how much or what percentage of that do you have in the bank? That purse costs you $600, $700, but you don't even have $200 in the bank. That's a problem. And now, unless you told me it was a gift and somebody gave it to you, it's a problem, guys. And all I'm saying is we have got to shift some of our energy into putting our money into things that will help us in the future. And depending on what happens in life, I mean your near future, nearer than some of us think, we have got to start doing more with our money than just spending it on what I call depreciable goods. I'm talking electronics. Look, I got the iPad, I got all that. But guess what? I analyze every time you get ready to buy something. This is what I want y'all to do and I would love for y'all to join my $20, a funky $20 a week group. I got the link right at the title if you all want to join. I would love for you all, every time you got ready to purchase something, just say to myself, do I really need it? Do I even really want it? And do I just have to have it right now? Also say to yourself, let me look at my bank account. Yeah, you should have known before you went to the store. Let me look at my bank account. Let me look at how much money I have in my account. Let me make sure all my bills are paid. Let me make sure I don't have any debts that I could actually put this towards that may help my credit score, that may put me in a better situation in case something happened. I don't have to worry about, because people, when you got debts, they don't care what happened to you. That girl in that full body cast, her debtors didn't care. They want their money. That's why she had to work. I need you to start coming up, and I think I'm going to come up with a list of questions. And I'm just going to put them on Facebook. The questions you ask yourself before you buy something you know you really don't need. That's what I want us to start doing. And it doesn't mean that it's not okay to buy it. It just depends on how you answer them questions. If you answer those questions in a way where it makes sense, hey, do you buy it? I ain't saying you got to live deprived and below and never do anything. What I am saying is spending has to be planned. A lot of spontaneous spending, when you ain't did the numbers, will keep you in a hole. It will keep you stressed. And I've been through death of people I love. I've been through divorce, a terrible divorce. I've been through a lot of stuff, y'all. And I can tell you right now, there is no stress that I can really look back into my life that made me lose more sleep, that made me either eat too much or stop eating at all, like money stress. There is none. Money is the thing. And I'm not in love with money at all, because I believe living, I believe giving, I believe money is a resource that allows us to literally not only live our lives well, but it allows us to be able to provide, as the Bible says, for our children's children. And the thing that when I start formally coaching, this became really, really real to me. I knew it, but it wasn't until people had to tell me the truth. It wasn't until people outside of myself had to really tell me or show me how their stuff is set up or not set up. It wasn't until then that I fully understood that this is a nationwide, it ain't just Chicago, it's Florida, I don't care where they live. It ain't just a problem. I used to think it was a problem with people that only were in the industry for a certain amount of time. No, it doesn't matter. I found that people in this industry, especially black people, I don't care if they had 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. The issue was all of them. And I am literally being very nice when I say all of them had some issues with money. They had issues with making sure that the money made sense for them to be able to do what they needed to do. And it was heartbreaking to me, because we got all these dreams. We got all these dreams, all these things we say we want to do, but every time we hit a brick wall, it's always something to do with money. Every single time. So I sat here and I said, God, what? We got to fix this. I got to work to fix this. So as this started to unfold more and more, I just started saying, look, I'm going to take the principles that I have learned, because trust me, it ain't nothing y'all done. It's nothing you all have done that I have not done, probably worse, because I thought I was big and bad enough to not only do it, but to do it and get away with it, y'all. And to get away with it and to be able to, so what, I did it, it don't matter, I'm all right. Let me tell y'all something. Stay in the second I learned real quick. When I say I learned quick, I learned real quick that it ain't gonna work. And that if I don't start getting my life in a better position when it comes to money, I'm gonna have to worry about more than just this hip. So what I'm saying to you all is, please don't let this opportunity pass. I'm just saying, look, this is no comparison to what I charge for these other groups. I charge $25 a week. Y'all can afford that. For you all to be able to learn about this money so that you can get this stuff together, so that you don't have to worry every time life happens. I don't want to see y'all with no more NSFs. Oh, I done had NSF. Look, I got kicked out of 3 banks, y'all. So I know what it means to have NSFs to the point you can't pay them. Now they done kicked you out the bank. And see, I've been through all of that. I've been in check systems twice. I'm out there. Let me tell y'all something. I radically, when I say radically got my life together, I said, I'm too old for this. I said, my life will be in shambles if I don't figure this out. So I'm also doing something at my Salon Owner Strategies Conference, which is November 9th through 11th. It's in Las Vegas. I got maybe like 3 seats left. If y'all interested still, you can go on knowledgebynikki.com. I still got about 3 seats left. I actually was asked by a couple of my attendees, how did I do it? How did I get from this position to that? So I'm doing a private sit-down dinner, which I'm also going to stream. I wasn't going to stream it, but people that knew I was doing it that can't come to the conference asked, could I stream it? So I'm going to stream it, $99, 4 hours. It's called Nikki Transparent. You all want to know how I did it? I'm going to show you. I ain't going to just tell you, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you everything that I did and how raggedy my stuff was. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get out of that situation. I'm going to walk you through the steps. And I don't care about telling y'all what I did, because I realized God gave me that gift to be able and willing to be transparent. But I'm going to show you how I broke it and fixed it and broke it and fixed it again and broke it and fixed it again. And I'm going to show you how to never break it again in your life, how to keep it right. I don't care how much money you making. I'm going to show you how, no matter how much money you make, you can get yourself in a financial position where you won't have to worry about that stuff no more. So if you all are interested in that, I believe it's on my website also. It's called Nikki Transparent, knowledgebynikki1k.com. It's $99 if you want to sit at the crib and watch it. If you come into the conference, I actually have it. If anybody's in Vegas, I have it where you don't even have to do the whole conference. You can come for that. You can literally come, sign up for that. It's Saturday evening. It's November 9th. It's in the evening from 8 to 11. And if you want to just say, look, I just want to hear what you did, and I'm going to give you the sources. I'm going to tell you what happened to me when people sat me down and they were like, look, we going to help you. When I say, y'all, I got as what Dave Ramsey says, I got gazelle focused. Did nothing else matter to me but literally saying I will not be in this situation ever again. It's just not going to happen. I'm not staying like this. I said I know God created me for more than paying bills and being in debt, and I am not doing this anymore. So guys, I'm turning into my parking garage. I'm actually going to get my passport because I'm going to Hong Kong. I'm going to come back and talk to y'all after I leave up out of here. I got to get my passport, y'all, and my visa. So y'all, log on to Money Does